Hello. Okay. Uh, the match between Atal Setu Brigade and Laziz Super Kings is played so far. कितली ओव्हर झाल्या 5 point 4 point 4.5 ne of 4.5 overs they have scored. Laziz has scored 40 for 1. End of over number 5, score is 41. बूट मेळ्ळ्यार बरें आशिल्लें एक्चुअली बूटूच ना तातूंत भितर आसल्या पळय बूट आसल्या पळय ना आं तो पयरची मॅचीची हॅलो कोण रे तो Sudin Kamath bowling from Pramod Borkar. Just pushed to cover region. 1 run. Score moving on to 42 ne 42 for 1. Sudin Kamath right arm over the wicket, bowling to driven on the mid wicket region. They cross for single. Score moves to 43 for 1. Sudin Kamath to Pramod Borkar. Plate on silly mid-on region, collected by bowler himself. No run. Kamath to Borkar. Just flicked it round to the fine leg region. 1 run for 1 run. Pratap Prabhugaonkar bowling from Naveli Ment. Left arm around the wicket. Burka just pushes to the gets 1 run. "47 for 1. A big appeal for LBW, turned down by umpire. Pratap Prabhugaonkar once again left arm around the wicket to Amod Borkar. Pushes it to the mid-on region. Crosses over for 1 run. Score moves on to 49 for 1. It's 50 for Laziz Super Kings. Coming in 6.5 in 7 overs. Viraj batting on 11 and Amod on 25. Sudhin Kamath bowling from Naveli Band to Viraj Puranik. Cuts it to 4 runs towards the square region. Score moves to 54 and Viraj on 15. Viraj 15. So again Sudhin bowls to Viraj. Just steps down and lifts it over the mid-on region. Crosses for 1 single. The score moves to 55. Sudhin Kamath to Amod Borkar, just flicks it around the leg region for a single. Yes. Sudin Kamath bowls to Viraj Puranik, drags him out, just but stumped by wicketkeeper for 16. So Viraj Puranik stumped wicketkeeper. Stumped by wicketkeeper Mihir Kunaikar for 15. Next batsman score is moving to 56 for 2 in 7.3 hours. Next batsman is Ravji Kakodkar.
And this time he connects it into the vacant square leg region. It crosses the boundary. First boundary for Lakshmikant Khurade. He moves to 9 and takes Laziz to 107 for the loss of 3 wickets. Lakshmikant Khurade is betting on 9 now with the help of 2 boundaries. Meanwhile, Aditya Angle change of ends comes round the wicket to Khurade, and Khurade cuts it and beat the infield. Takes a single, gets off the strike, moves into double figures with that single, moves to 10 and Laziz 108 for the loss of 3 wickets. This time Raoji, without making any movement of his feet, tried to connect it, misses it completely, results in a dot ball. He's batting on 12, Khurade batting on 10 and Laziz Super Kings 108 for 3. This time he drives it into the vacant long on region as Kapil Angle comes in and collects. The batsman crossover for a single. With that single, the score moves to 109. The last 2 balls of the power play now. Fielding restrictions permit you maximum 2 fielders outside the 30-yard circle. That's the long on and the mid wicket. Kapil Angle and Sairaj don't. And this time he's bowled. All ends up. Misses the ball and Aditya Angle castles Prashant Khurade for 10. That's the 4th wicket down for Laziz Super Kings at a score of 109. Still 1 more ball to come of the power play. 37 balls left in this innings. Laziz, let's see how much Laziz can make. Can they reach 150? Electing to bat first, Laziz Super Kings lost Deval Karmali for 7, bowled by Pratap Prabhugaonkar. Then a brief partnership between Amod Borkar, the captain, made 52 in 35 balls with 7 fours and a 6. And Viraj Puranik making 16 with 2 boundaries. They'd build a partnership of 45 runs in 34 balls. Following them was Raoji Kakodkar, who is batting now on 13. Varun Kudsarkar had a terrible mix-up and got run out of the very first ball he faced. Lakshmikant Khurade has just got bowled by Aditya Angle for 10. Extras 11, 9 wides and 2 leg byes. The score is 109 for 4. After 13.5 overs, bowling figures, most successful bowler Pratap Prabhugaonkar 1 for 18 of his 4 overs and 1 for 29 for Sudin Kamath. Fuller length ball and driven beautifully but can't pierce the infield. Gets a single to get off the mark. Videy Kosambe with that single. And Aditya Angle completes his 3rd over, 1 for 20 of his 3 overs. Sairaj Dhond has bowled 2 overs for 17 runs. Rasik Paiko just 1 ball for 2 runs. His over was completed by Arna, who gave away 10 runs of his 5 balls. Vibhav Poi has bowled 1 over for 12 runs. We have now come to the end of the 14th over. The score is 110 for 4. Last 6 overs coming up. Current rate is just under 8 runs per over. If they can get 48-50 runs in the last 6 overs, they would be reaching a par score of 160. 160 has been a par score in the evening matches at the MCC ground. It's just the morning matches wherein the dew plays a bit of a factor for the team batting first, the first hour of play. But the evening matches, the par score has been 160. Let's see now. It's going to be Kapil Angle from the pavilion end bowling to Videy Kosambe, who's batting on 1. It connects it. The ball just beats the infield. And before Sudin Kamath can collect and throw it back to the keeper, the batsmen take a couple of runs. With those 2 runs, Videy moves to 3 and takes Laziz Super Kings to 112. Rauji Kakodkar is batting off 13 of 14 deliveries with 2 boundaries. So out of 12 deliveries, he has scored just 5 runs. Kapil Angle once again to Videy Kosambe. This time Videy tries to drive it past the cover region and steals a single right under the nose of Arnav Faldesai. And with that single he moves to 4 and Laziz Super Kings 113 for the loss of 4 wickets after 14.2 overs. Good delivery, but Rauji cuts it beautifully. Ball just salutes the fielder. And that is Viraj Puranik. With that boundary, Rauji moves to 17 and takes Laziz to 117 for 4. This time watchfully placed into the point region as Kapil, the Kedar Kamath comes in and collects. The batsman crossover for a single. With that single, Laziz moves to 118 for the loss of 4 wickets. 2 more balls left in this over. The 15th over of the innings being bowled by Kapil Angle from the pavilion end. This time, Videy not much moment of the feet but still manages to pierce the infield and goes to Aditya Angle, manning the long on boundary. He takes the single, he moves to 5 and Laziz Super Kings 119. This time Rauji cuts it but straight to Viraj Dhon at the backward point region. With that single, Laziz Super Kings after 15 overs going steady at a rate of 8 runs per over, 120 for the loss of 4 wickets. Estilo Modino Realty's SARSANGAN Super Series Cricket Tournament being brought to you by Estilo Modino Realty, Desserts and More, Fresh Cakes and Bakes, Geno Pharmaceuticals, Commonwealth Developers Private Limited, Drogaria Kolwalkar, Chinks, Kunde Associates, the Dempo Group of Companies, Hotel Kampal, Wakao Foods, Sadesai Group, SRE Group, Saraswat Bank, Advocate Satish Pilgaonkar and NKGSP Bank. The 6 teams, Atal Setu Brigade, Salsat Stallions, Mapsa Dream Crushers, Laziz Super Kings, PDK Kings and Madgaon Royals. Atal Setu Brigade being owned by Viraj Dhon, Salsat Stallions by Jayaprakash Kunde, Mapsa Dream Crushers by Rajesh Kolwalkar, PDK Kings by Rahul Dhond, Madgaon Royals by Ashish Dukre, Mahendra Audi and Damodar Pai Patnekar, and Laziz Super Kings by Swapnil Mopkar and Varun Khudsadkar. This is the 6th match, the 6th league match of this tournament. 5 matches have gone so far, and Salsat Stallions are right on top with 4 points. Meanwhile, Aditya Angle starts with a wide down the leg side. This time Rauji tries to cut it, can't connect it properly, but nevertheless the ball goes to the sweep position. Sairaj Dhon manning it. Batsmen take a single and Laziz moves to 122. Two important partnerships in this innings. First one, it's Aditya Angle, right arm over the wicket, and Videy just lofts it and the ball goes in no man's land. No one knows where the ball goes. It was a wicket-keeper's catch. Mihir Kundekar not going for it. Meanwhile, they take a single. There were two partnerships in this innings. 45 runs for the second wicket between Amod Borkar and Viraj Puranik, and then 42-run partnership for the third wicket between Amod Borkar and Rauji Kakodkar. Meanwhile, Laziz Super Kings 124 for 4 in the 16th over. Aditya Angle from the far end, right arm over the wicket to Vijay Kosambe. Tries to sweep it, can't connect it properly. Nevertheless, gets a single to go move off the strike. He moves on to 7 with the 5 singles and 1 double. And Laziz Super Kings 125 for 4. It's a dot ball. Rauji can't connect it. And appeal, more in hope. Nevertheless, the last ball of the 16th over coming up. Aditya Angle from the far end. Faster one, and Rauji can't connect it properly. And he doesn't attempt except a single. He just walks past it and takes a single. With that single, Laziz Super Kings moves to 126 for the loss of 4 wickets after 16 overs. Just 6 runs coming from this over. Last 4 overs now coming up. Pratap Prabhugaonkar is the sole bowler who has completed his quota of 4 overs, and so has Aditya Angle, who also bowled his quota of 4 overs for 26 runs and picking a wicket. Pratap Prabhugaonkar bowling 4 overs for 18 runs and picking a wicket. Sudhin Kamath also has finished his quota of 3 overs for 29 runs and picks a wicket. So the remaining 4 overs will have to be shared between Sairaj Dhond, Vibhav Pai, Arnav Faldesai and Kapil Angle. And even Rasik Pai Khoth, if he's fit, can bowl. Yes, looks like it's going to be Kapil Angle from the far end to bowl his second over. His first over produced 10 runs. Laziz Super Kings 126 for 4. You need to get around 34-40 runs to go past 160, which is a pass score in this evening matches at MCC. Rauji Kakodkar glides it into the third man region and collects a single. With that single, he moves to 23 of 22 balls, which is 3 boundaries. This time, Vijay drives it into the mid-wicket region, and there's a slight bit of misfield, and Vijay gets 2 runs for that. With those 2 runs, Vijay moves to 9. And Laziz Super Kings 129 for 4. Last 22 balls coming up now of their innings. The ball kept quite low, and there is absolutely no connection with the bat. Results in a dot ball. This time he drives it, but the ball goes straight to the field at the deep square leg region. And the batsmen, even though they are in the fag end of the innings, quite contented to take singles. There absolutely doesn't seem any sort of hurry to go for doubles in 3 runs. Quite content with singles. This time Rauji cuts it, and there's a misfield there. Kedar Kamath misfields and results in 2 runs. With those 2 runs, Laziz Super Kings move to 132 for 4. 1 ball coming up of the 1 short run. Andugar and 1. End of 17 overs. The score is 131 for 4. Just 5 runs coming from that Kapil Angle over. There is absolutely no message. Here goes the messenger. Tanmay Suktankar all the way running from the pavilion to give a message to Vijay Kosambe and Rauji Kakodkar. Viday betting on 10 of 9 deliveries. Rauji 24 in 24. Last 3 overs coming up. It's going to be Arnav Faldesai from the far end who's going to bowl to Viday Kosambi. Arnav Faldesai from the far end to Viday, and he gets a shorter one. He cuts it. Can't pierce the infield. Contended to with that single. Rasik fields and sends the ball back to Arnav, who is back on his bowling mark. Right arm of the wicket, Arnav, this time to Rauji Kakodkar from the far end. And there's a French cut collected by the wicketkeeper Mihir. No addition to the score. Mihir Khundekar stops it and saved not less than 2 runs for that. Once again Arnav to Rauji, and Rauji tries to cut it but can't pierce Sairaj Don on the sweeper boundary. Gets a single though and takes Laziz Super Kings to 133 for 4 after 17.3 overs. Just last 15 balls of the innings coming up now. It's an appeal and he misses it. Umpire gives him out, trapped in front. Viday falls, trapped in front for 11 of 11 balls with a strike rate of 100. Viday Kosambe all the way from Sange. It's known as a Bhatkar, the son of the legendary Dharma Kosambe, who is known for Veerabhadra in the Sangye Shigmotsav committee. Meanwhile, it's Sahil Adwalpalkar from Panji who is going to replace Viday Kosambe. Last innings, Adwalpalkar made a quick 21 with 1 6 and 1 4. Let's see what Sahil has in store this time. Last 14 balls coming up of the Laziz Super King innings. Sahil is a good friend of the Atal Setu Brigade team. Good friends all over Goa. Noel Arnav, and he hits back, straight back to the bowler. No addition to the score, dot ball. Score remains at 133 for 5 after 17.5 overs. After 14 overs, Laziz Super Kings were 109 and they managed to score just 24 runs in 4 overs. With that single, the end of the 18th over, the score moves to 134. Sahil opens his account. The last 2 overs coming up now. Only 25 runs have come in the last 4 overs. $25 runs in the last 4 overs. Good comeback by Atal Setu Brigade. It's going to be Kapil Angle who's going to bowl his 3rd over from the far end. And he'll be bowling to Sahil Adwalpalkar who's batting on 1. Very good friends on and off the field, Sahil and Kapil Angle. Invites right arm over the wicket, Kapil Angle from the far end to Sahil. Hits it back, straight back the bowler. As Arnav comes in and fields. Take a single. And with that single, the score moves to 135 for 5. Rauji facing Kapil Angle. Short ball and he tries to cut it. But can't pierce. Sairaj Dons manning the sweeper position. Just a single. Singles are not going to help Laziz's cause. Very worried owner there, Swapnil Mopkar. Last 10 balls coming up now. This time lofts it high over the heads. The ball falls in no man's land and they take 2 runs. With those 2 runs, the score moves to 138. Sahil moves to 4. And Rauji is betting on 26. 3 more balls coming up of this 19th over. Kapil Angle from the far end. And this time Sahil lofts it. Ball again falls short of the long off fielder. This time they could manage to get just a single. Good fielding there. Just a single to Sahil and Laziz moves to 139. This time a short ball and it's straight in the hands of the short fine leg fielder Viraj Don, who takes a blinder to get rid of Rauji Kakodkar. So Rauji falls for the individual score of 26 and Laziz loses its 6th wicket at a score of 139. That's a bonus wicket for Kapil Angle. Bad ball. And Rauji tried to hoik it in the backward square leg region. Just manages to find the lone fielder in that circle, Viraj Don, who takes a good catch. And Laziz loses their 6th wicket at the score of 139. New batsman is Sudhir Kenkre, who is going to take strike now. Last ball of the 19th over coming up. Fuller length and driven into the mid-wicket region. Let's see if the batsman can take 2 runs. Yes, they come back for the second. It's going to be close one. And over to the third umpire says Prashant Patil. Just falling short, Sudhir Kenkre, by a feet or so. Nevertheless, he had to go for the runs and he sacrifices his wicket for the team's cause. Out of the last ball of the 19th over. And Laziz Super Kings now losing wickets in a heap. 140 for 7 now after 19 overs. Only 31 runs have come now in the last 5 overs. And they have lost 4 wickets. 31 runs for the loss of 4 wickets in the last 5 overs. Laziz Super Kings losing their way at the fag end. The last over coming up now, it's going to be bowled by Arnav Faldesai. Abhishek Aroskar, the new batsman, and he'll be going off the strike. It's going to be Sahil Adwal-Palkar who's going to take strike now. Technically, they have already lost 8 wickets as Amod Borkar can't come into bat now, having scored 50 runs. So this is the second last pair. Just one more batsman to follow after this. 140 for 7. Laziz Super Kings electing to bat first. Last 5 overs have scored. They managed to score just 31 runs and lose 4 wickets. 31 runs for the loss of 4 wickets in the last 5 overs for Laziz Super Kings. The 4 batsmen were dismissed were Lakshmikant Kurade, Videy Kosambe, Ravji Kakodkar and Sudhir Kenkre, who sacrificed his wicket, going for the team scores. Meanwhile, it's Arnav Faldesai, and Sahil tried to drive it, couldn't get the ball connected properly right in the meat of the bat. He just managed to get the ball past the infield as Sairaj Don comes in and collects from the sweeper position. Sahil takes a single, moves to 6 and Laziz to 141. It's going to be Abhishek Aroskar facing Arnav Faldesai. Misses it and is castled by Arnav Faldesai. Out for 0. And that's the last batsman for Laziz Super Kings, Shantaram Gaitonde. That's the 5th wicket which they have lost in last 5 overs. Laziz Super Kings 141 for 8 now. It's going to be Shantaram Gaitonde who's going to face Arnav Faldesai, who's going to bowl from the far end. Arnav Faldesai has been the most successful bowler for Atal Setu Brigade, taking 2 wickets for 14 runs. This time Shantaram cuts it beautifully into the vacant third man region as Kedar comes in and collects. The batsman, there is no urgency shown whatsoever, just a single. They are quite contented to take singles. And Laziz moves to 142 now. Last 3 balls coming up. Sahil Adwalpalkar facing Arnav Faldesai. Fuller length and he drives it. Drives into the long off region, and will they cross for the second? They get it. 2 runs to Sahil Adwalpalkar. With those 2 runs, he moves to 8. And Laziz Super Kings 144 for the loss of 8 wickets. This is the last pair now. Amod Borkar having retired at an individual score of 52 of 35 balls with a strike rate of 148 with 7 fours and 1 6. Meanwhile, Sahil hits it back past the bowler. Will they go for the second? And that's a terrible mix-up there. Shantaram Gaitonde is out. And Arnav Faldesai throws it to the wicketkeeper, Mihir Kundaikar, who whips off the bails, and Laziz Super Kings innings has folded at a score of 145. So Laziz Super Kings, having elected to bat first, made 145 for the loss of 9 wickets. In 19.5 overs, Deval Karmali bowled Pratap Prabhugaonkar 7 in 10 balls with 1 boundary. Amod Borkar, the captain, 52 in 35 balls with 7 boundaries and 1 6. Viraj Puranik 16 in 18 balls with 2 boundaries. He was stunned by Mihir Kundaikar of Sudin Kamath. Ravji Kakodkar caught by Viraj Don of the bowling of Kapil Angle for 26 of 28 balls with 3 boundaries. Varun Kutsadkar, a terrible run out with the combination of Viraj Don and Mihir Kundaikar once again of the very first ball he faced without opening the scoring. Lakshmikant Kurade bowled by Aditya Angle for 10 of 5 deliveries with 2 boundaries. Videy Kosambe LBW by Arnav Faldesai 11 in 11 balls. Sahil Advalpalkar remaining not out on 8 of 7 balls. Sudhir Kenkre sacrificing his wicket for 1 of 1 delivery. Run out for a direct throw by Aditya Angle and Mihir Kundekar. Abhishek Aroskar bowled by Arnav for 0 of the very first ball, and Shantaram Gaitonde run out for 1. 12 extras, 10 wides and 2 leg byes. The bowling figures: Sairaj Dhon, none for 17 of his 2 overs. Bowling figures: Sairaj Dhon, none for 17 of his 2 overs. Rasik Pai Khod bowled just 1 ball and gave away 2 runs before he was injured. Pratap Prabhgaonkar 1 for 18 of his 4 overs. Vibhav Pai 1 over for 12 runs. Sudin Kamath 1 for 29 of his 3 overs. Aditya Angle 1 for 26 of his 4 overs. Kapil Angle 1 for 21 of 3 overs. And the most successful bowler 2 for 18 of 2.4 overs, Arnav Faldesai. So 146 runs to win for Atal Setu Brigade in 20 overs. We'll be back shortly. The impact players for today's game: Arnav Faldesai having already come in for Pratap Prabhugaonkar in the first innings, and now it's going to be Pradeep Shetty who is going to replace Videy Kosambe for Laziz Super Kings. The target is 146. Pradeep Shetty from the pavilion end, bowling right arm over to Kapil Angle. Dot ball to start the proceedings. Atal Setu require 146 runs to win in the allotted 20 overs. Kapil Angle on strike, giving him company is Sudin Kamath, both ex-Ranji players of the Goa Cricket Association. Pradeep Shetty has a freakish injury, but nevertheless he keeps himself fit. This time a shot of good length ball, and Kapil Angle doesn't get much time to free his arms. Places watchfully down the wicket. 3 dot balls in a row for Atal Setu Brigade. This time he gets room, frees his arms and drives it into the vacant sweeper position. As the fielder comes in and collects the crossover for a single, Kapil opens his account and so does Atal Setu Brigade. One without loss now. Sudin Kamath now facing Pradeep Shetty. Watchfully played into the square leg region. As Varun Kudsarkar comes in and collects. Sudin also collects a single. He moves to 1. Atal Setu Brigade 2 without loss. Pradeep Shetty has his own computer and software business from Marcel. This time the batsman Kapil Angle couldn't connect it. Tried to drive it, but nevertheless it's a dot ball. And after 1 over, Atal Setu Brigade are 2 without loss, chasing 146 to win this match. Both teams are yet to win a match. This is the second match for both the teams. And to bowl the second over, it's going to be Ravji Kakodkar from the near end. He's going to bowl to Sudin Kamath, who is batting on 1. Kapil Angle also batting on 1. Ravji to Sudin Kamath. There's absolutely no fit movement by Sudin. The ball wide outside the off stump. Signaled so by the umpire. 1 run addition to the score through extras. As extras also open their account. Kapil on 1, Sudin 1, extras 1. The score 3 without loss. It's going to be Rauji once again. Bowling right arm of the wicket from the near end. Ball wraps him on the pad. And it's a leg by signal. So 1 run apiece. Kapil 1, Sudin 1, wide 1 and leg byes 1. Atal Setu Brigade 4 without loss. Kapil now facing Rauji Kakodkar. It's a wide outside you off stump. And that's quite easy for the umpire to spread his arms and signal a wide. Wide moves to 2 and the score 5 without loss. Kapil lofts it over the infield and collects a single. The third wide of this over, this time on the leg side. And extras now leading the charts with 4. Kapil batting on 2, Sudin on 1. The score 7 without loss in the second over. Not much moment of the feet. Sudin tried to loft the ball, misses the line and is castled by Rauji. He picks up his wicket. And Atal Setu Brigade lose their first wicket in the form of Sudin Kamath, bowled by Rauji Kakodkar. New batsman for Atal Setu Brigade is the owner of Wakao Foods, Sairaj Dond. Tall guy from Panji, Goa. Sairaj walks in to replace Sudin Kamath. Sairaj Dond is on strike now. He's replacing Sudin Kamath, who is out, bowled by Rauji Kakodkar. Atal Setu Brigade 7 for 1, chasing 146 to win this match. We are in the second over. Meanwhile, Rauji Kakodkar from the near end is going to bowl to Sairaj Dond. That's a wide signal, the fourth wide of this over, and the batsman also cross. So this looks like 3 wides. The 3 wides signaled. 1 wide and the 2 run by the batsman. That means 3 or more addition to the score. Score moves to 10. It includes 7 extras. Kapil is batting on 2. Sudin is out for 1. Sairaj batting on 0. This time Sairaj can't connect it properly. Dot ball. Score remains on 10 for 1 after 1.4 overs. Sir. That's a big wide. And we welcome the ex-chief engineer of PWD, Sri Srikant Dond, one of the strong supporters of the Dond family and Atal Setu Brigade. This team is also owned by Viraj Gaurish Dond. Too many wides of this over. One more wide and the batsmen also have run. So the score moves to 13. And in those 13, 11 are extras. No, 10 are extras. And 2 to Kapil and 1 to Sudin. 10 extras out of those 13. 13 for 1. Atal Setu Brigade in the second over. This time, watchfully played by Kapil into the mid-off region as Sahil Adwalpalkar comes in and collects. Kapil crosses for a couple of runs. He moves to 4 and Atal Setu Brigade 15 for the loss of 1 wicket. Last ball, the full toss, and Kapil couldn't connect it properly. Goes to the mid-wicket region where Viraj Puranik stops it. He can't stop the batsman from crossing over for a single. With that single, Kapil moves to 5. And Atal Setu Brigade, after 2 overs, 16 for 1. Pradeep Shetty, meanwhile. And Kapil Angle uses the pace of the ball, just flicks it off his legs. First boundary for Kapil. Kapil Angle moves to 9 and takes Atal Setu Brigade to 20 for the loss of 1 wicket. Pradeep Shetty was very economical in the first over. All his deliveries were just on or outside the off stump. The moment he straight on the leg side, Kapil makes full use of that opportunity and just glides it past the fine leg fielder for a boundary. Once again, Pradeep Shetty, right arm of the wicket from the pavilion end, and this time Kapil couldn't bisect the fielder as Sahil and they will stop the third. They get 2 runs in the meanwhile of the misfield. And as a result of that misfield, 2 more runs to Kapil. Kapil moves to 11 with those 2 runs. And Atal Setu Brigade now 22 for the loss of 1 wicket. Once again, Pradeep Shetty from the near end, right arm of the wicket to Kapil Angle. Watchfully played, defensively, back straight to the bowler. Fields off his own bowling. No addition to the score. Score remains at 22 after 2.3 overs for the loss of 1 wicket. Atal Setu Brigade chasing 146 to win. Now require 124 runs in 105 balls. 9 wickets in hand to achieve that. This time watchfully played, defensively, back to the bowler. No addition to the score. Score remains at 22 for the loss of 1 wicket. Kapil hits it straight back to the stumps. 3 dot balls to end the over from Pradeep Shetty. And Atal Setu Brigade after 3 overs, 22 for 1. Ball left. This time Kapil cuts it past the point fielder and he gets a boundary. With that boundary, Kapil moves to 15 and Atal Setu Brigade after 3 overs are 26 for 1. 120 more runs to win of 102 deliveries, 17 overs in which to get them for Atal Setu Brigade. Kapil Angle is batting on 15, giving him company. Sairaj Don yet to open his account. It's going to be changed from the near end. The last over of power play will be bowled by their captain Amod Borkar with his right arm off spinners. He's going to bowl to Sairaj Don. Let's see if Atal Setu Brigade can make use of this power play. Wherein only 2 fielders are permitted outside the 30-yard circle. And the 2 fielders are the sweeper position and the deep mid wicket. Sweeper position is bent by Deval Karmali and deep mid wicket is Rauji Kakodkar. Amod Borkar right arm over the wicket from the near end to Sairaj Don and watchfully plays beaten outside the off stump. Sairaj Don. Very deceptive bowler, Amod Borkar. Fuller length, straight back to the bowler. No addition to the score. This time he finds a gap between point and backward point and still a single. Opens his account, Sairaj. He moves to 1 and Atal Setu moves to 27 for the loss of 1 wicket. We are in the 4th over. Kapil Angle now, slight change of field. Pradeep Shetty comes inside the circle to mid on and Rauji Kakodkar goes to the deep square leg boundary. Fuller length ball and Viraj comes in and collects and throws it to the wicket keeper as the batsman cross over for a single. Kapil moves to 16 and Atal moves to 28. 118 more runs to win for Atal Setu Brigade of 98 deliveries. Amod Borkar works for persistent systems. This time Sairaj finds it, beats the infield and the ball runs over to the rope. Boundary to Sairaj Don who moves to 5 and Atal Setu Brigade to 32 for 1. Last ball of the power play coming up now. And with that boundary, slight bit of field, Amod Borkar gets Rauji Kakodkar within the 30-yard circle and he pushes the long off Abhishek Aroskar on the boundary. He says, go on the ropes, Abhishek. Still inside the circle. Still 10, 20, 10, 15 yards. No, right now. Now he goes back right on the fence. Looks like this is going to be a fuller delivery for Sairaj Don. Yes, it is fuller and watchfully played by Sairaj Don. Back to the bowler. Dot ball to end the 4th over. Atal Setu Brigade 32 for 1 after 4 overs of power play. They require another 114 runs to get in those 16 overs. Both teams are yet to open their account, having lost their opening matches. It's going to be Pradeep Shetty once again to bowl his 3rd over from the pavilion end. He's going to bowl to Kapil Angle, who's batting on 16. Kapil is batting on 16 of 15 deliveries with 2 hits to the fence. This time he watchfully plays it into the cover region as Deval Karmali comes in and collects. Kapil collects a single. He moves to 17 and takes Atal Setu Brigade to 33. Meanwhile, it's Pradeep Shetty once again from the near end. Bowls to Sairaj and Sairaj is classic personified, uses his feet and drifts the ball past the cover region for a couple of runs. With those 2 runs, Sairaj moves to 7 and Atal Setu Brigade to 35. Pradeep Shetty once again from the near end. Is going to bowl to Sairaj Don, right arm over the wicket. Shot of good length and watchfully played. Pradeep Shetty stops the single of his own bowling. Dot ball. Sairaj Dhon is batting on 7 from 8 deliveries with 1 boundary. And Kapil Angle on 17 of 16 deliveries with 2 boundaries. Shot of good length and played into the point region where Sahil Adwalparkar stops the ball. He can't stop the single though. And with that single, Atal Setu Brigade moves to 36. Kapil is 17. Sairaj on 8. Lone batsman to back in the pavilion is Sudin Kamath, bowled by Rauji for 1. This time again a shot of good length ball, but straight to Deval Karmali into the sweeper position. The batsman cross over for a single. Kapil moves to 18 and ASB 37 for 1. We are in the 5th over. The last ball coming up now. Pradeep Shetty, right arm of the wicket from the near end to Sairaj. Can't connect the ball and a slight bit of misfield. The batsman run a single of that wide, which means 2 more addition to the total in the form of extras, and that means there are 11 wides and 1 leg by in that score of 39, 12 extras in that score of 39. Pradeep Shetty once again right arm of the wicket, this time watchfully played into the square leg region as Rauji comes in and collects the ball. The batsman crossover for a single. With the end of 5 overs, Atal Setu Brigade 40 for 1. Pradeep Shetty has bowled his 3 overs for 20 runs. And Rauji has bowled his 1 over for 13 runs, having picked 1 wicket. And Ahmad Borkar has bowled 1 over for 6 runs. Batsman dismissed Sudin Kamath for 1. And the score was 7, and this is a 33-run partnership between Kapil Angle and Sairaj Dhon. Those 33 runs have come in exactly 21 balls. Atal Setu Brigade now require 106 runs to win in 15 overs. That is exactly 7 runs per over. They need to preserve their wickets. Wickets would be the key in such a close encounter. They're going at a rate of 8 per over and require now 7 runs per over in the remaining 15 to get those 106 runs from those 90 deliveries. It's going to be Ahmad Borkar from the far end. Is going to bowl to Kapil Angle, who's biting on 19. Kapil drives it and it bisects the 2 fielders, but not the Deval Karmali or Sudhir Kenkre. Is it Sudhir Kenkre? Looks like it's Sudhir Kenkre who is on the deep square leg region. 1 more addition to the score. Kapil moves into the 20s now. He's on 20. Sairaj on 8 and the score is 41 for 1. Watchfully played by Sairaj Dhon. Back to the bowler. No addition to the score. It's a dot ball. This time Sairaj gets it in between the 2 fielders, the point and the covers. As Sahil Adwalparkar comes in and collects. Sairaj takes a single, he moves to 9 and Atal Setu Brigade 42 for 1 after 5.3 overs. Amod Burkar once again to bowl from the far end. He's going to bowl right arm over the wicket to Kapil Angle. He's batting in 20 now. It's 20 coming in 19 deliveries with the help of 2 boundaries. This time he watchfully plays it. Soft hands. And collects a single in the process. Moves to 21. Atal Setu now moves to 42. Kapil has scored most of the runs for Atal Setu Brigade. Roughly around 48% of those runs coming from the blade of Kapil Angle. Watchfully played by Sairaj Dhon. Back to the bowler. No addition to the score. After 5.5 overs, Atal Setu Brigade 43 for 1. Just 3 singles of this 6th over from Amod Borkar. Fuller length and can't connect it properly. Looks like an appeal there. Turned down by the umpire. End of the 6th over, the score is 43 for 1. Just 3 runs coming off that over from Amod Borkar. Pradeep Shetty to bowl his 4th over on a trot. He's going to bowl the 7th over to Kapil Angle, who's batting on 21 now of 20 deliveries, striking a rate of 105 runs with 2 boundaries. Giving him company at the other end at the strike rate of 69 is Sairaj Dhon with batting on 9 of 13 deliveries with 1 boundary. 3 overs for 20 runs for Pradeep Shetty, who comes right arm over the wicket from the far end, bowls to Kapil Angle, and that's a loud appeal. Late one from the bowler though. Has had no effect whatsoever on the umpire. Pradeep Shetty once again right arm over the wicket from the far end, and Kapil takes it on the full and clips it past the square leg region where Sudhir Kenkre fields it. The batsman cross over for a single. Kapil moves to 22 now of 22 deliveries, and Atal Setu on 44. That means 50% of the runs have been scored by Kapil Angle for Atal Setu Brigade. It's going to be Pradeep Shetty once again right arm of the wicket, this time to Sairaj Dhon from the far end. Shortish ball, it's straight back to the bowler as Sai Ladwal Palkar comes in from the cover region. The batsman crossover for a single. Saraj moves into double figures. He moves to 10 with that single, and Atal Setu Brigade one stage were 40 for the loss of 1 wicket after 5 overs. Just 5 singles have come in this 9 deliveries so far. Pradeep Shetty once again to Kapil Angle. Slightly shortish, and Kapil whips it past the square leg region. It can't beat Sudhir Kenkre, who comes in and fields and restricts the scoring to a single. Kapil moves to 23, and Laziz, Atal Setu Brigade 46 for 1. Once again, Pradeep Shetty right arm of the wicket from the far end to Sairaj Dhon, who is batting on 10. Watchfully played straight to Amod Borkar, who is right on the edge of the 30-yard circle. Can't stop that single. And Saraj moves to 11. Score 47 for 1. We are coming to the last ball of the 7th over. Shantaram Gaitonde now being brought inside the 30-yard circle, and Amod pushes himself back to the mid-wicket fence. A big gap between mid-wicket and long on. And this time He drives it, but straight to the place where Amod Borkar has stationed himself. Gets a single to move to 24. At the end of 7 overs, Atal Setu Brigade are 48 for 1. Kapil Angle having scored 50% of those runs. And Atal Setu Brigade has managed just 8 runs in the last 2 overs. And they require 98 runs to win now in 78 balls. Meanwhile, Pradeep Shetty has finished his quota of 4 overs. 4 overs for 25 runs for Pradeep Shetty. It's going to be Deval Karmali now. No, it's going to be Viraj Puranik. Viraj Puranik, who is going to bowl from the far end. He's bowling to Kapil Angle. Kapil Angle tries to pull it. Can't get past the fielder. Tanmay Usgaonkar. Tanmay Suktankar. Tanmay Suktankar stops what looked like a sure boundary, saves 3 runs for his team. Again a shorter ball, and this time Sairaj Dhon clips it over Tanmay for a boundary. And with that boundary, which is coming after a long time, Sairaj moves to 15 and takes Atal Setu Brigade to 53. 93 runs to win for Atal Setu Brigade now. 75 balls in which to get them. Once again, Viraj from the far end. The ball takes the fine edge of the bat. Goes to Tanmay Suktankar, who can't stop the single. Sairaj moves to 16 with that single, and Atal moves to 54. Viraj Puranik bowling right arm over the wicket. This time to Kapil Angle. Glides it, and a bit of football there by Tanmay. Yeah, but Sudhir Kinkre backs him up and stops any sort of overthrows. He gets a single, and Kapil moves to 26. 55 for 1, and a dot ball to end the over from Viraj Puranik. After 8 overs, 55 for 1, Atal Setu Brigade going at a shade under 7 runs per over. Kapil is batting on 26, Sairaj on 16. It's going to be Rauji Kakodkar, who is going to be replacing Viraj Puranik. "91 runs to win, 72 balls in which to get them. 7.5 runs per over is the required run rate for Atal Setu Brigade. Rauji Kakodkar, meanwhile, once again to bowl his second over from the far end. He's going to bowl right arm of the wicket to Kapil Angle. The ball doesn't rise as per the expectations of Kapil. Results in a dot ball collected by the wicketkeeper Lakshmikant Khurade. No addition to the score. Short ball, and that's an appeal there. So after a bit of a discussion, Kapil Angle has to walk back to the pavilion, given caught down the leg side by a brilliant catch by Lakshmikant Kurade. I think the ball just took a fine nick of the gloves. So the lone successful bowler for Laziz Super Kings has been Rauji Kakodkar, though he's also been the most expensive, but he has picked both the wickets. And they are right back into the match, Laziz Super Kings. New batsman is their captain Aditya Angle. Is going to replace Kapil. Aditya Angle needs no introduction, having been a member of the IPL winning team Rajasthan Royals in the very first edition. Played at the highest level, Fogoa in Ranji trophies. Beautifully driven into the long off region and gets off the mark with that single. Score moves to 56. Somehow the player not going for that run. Adit quick to notice that and takes 2 runs. He takes 2 runs for his batting partner Sairaj, who moves to 18 with those quick running between the wickets. And Atal now 58 for 2. 88 more runs to win for Atal. Short ball and Sairaj, not much feet movement though, misses it and all ends up straight into the gloves of Prashant Kurade. 58 for 2 after 8.5 overs. 88 more runs to win for Atal Setu Brigade, and they have 67 balls in which to get them. This time watchfully played, but straight back to the bowler. End of the 9th over. After 9 overs, Atal Setu Brigade chasing 146 to win are 58 for 2. Both the wickets being picked by Rauji Kakodkar. His bowling figures read 2 overs, no maiden, 14 runs and 2 wickets. Two overs for 16 runs and 2 wickets. Eighty-eight more runs to win in 66 balls. They need 8 runs per over now. Full toss ball, and Aditya can't make much use of it. But they're going for a second run. Sairaj quick to notice that. This time he runs the 2 runs for his partner. Aditya moves to 3 and Atal now 60 for the loss of 2 wickets in the 10th over. Viraj once again right above the wicket. This time to Aditya, and he can't pierce the infield. Good fielding there. Looks like it's going to be the captain. Going for a non-existent run there. Sairaj finds himself in bit of trouble. Let's see what's the... It tracks the bat just in time. With that single, Aditya moves to 4 and Atal 61 for the loss of 2 wickets. Viraj once again from the far end. Right arm of the wicket, this time to Sairaj Dhon, who is batting on 18. Fuller length, they makes good use. Covers, cleans the infield. But the batsman again making good use. The fielder relaxing there, and both the batsmen, this time they have taken 2 runs, but this is the third occasion in which they have run the second run, making full use of the laxity shown by the fielder. 2 runs to Sairaj, who moves to 20. Short ball, and Sairaj connects it beautifully, but it's going to be Sudhir Kenkre who comes and stops it. Not before the batsmen take 2 runs. It is 2 runs, Sairaj moves to 22, and Atal Setu Brigade 65 for the loss of 2 wickets. Viraj once again, right arm of the wicket to Sairaj. Fuller length ball, watchfully played back straight to the bowler. No addition to the score. 65 for the loss of 2 wickets. The last ball of the 10th over coming up. Last ball before the scheduled drinks break. This time Sairaj connects it, and it clears the boundary. 4 signaled by the umpire to end the 10th over. With that boundary, Sairaj moves to 26 now, and Atal Setu Brigade 69 for the loss of 2 wickets after 10 overs. Chasing 146 to win. They require now 77 runs to win in the last 10 overs. We'll be back shortly. This Sarsangan Super Series brought to you by Estilo Moreno Realty, Dazes and More, Fresh Cakes and Bakes, Geno Pharmaceuticals, Commonwealth Developers Private Limited, Drogaria Kolvalkar, Chings, Kunde Associates, the Dempo Group of Companies, Hotel Kampal, Wakao Foods. Owner Sairaj Dhon is at the crease on 26. Sardesai Group, the SRE Group, Saraswat Bank, Advocate Satish Pilgaonkar, and NKGSB Bank. 6 teams participating in this tournament. Atal Setu Brigade owned by Viraj Gaurish Dhon, Salsat Stallions by Jaiprakash Kunde, Mapsa Dream Crushers by Rajesh Kolvalkar, PDK Kings by Rahul Dhon, Laziz Super Kings by Swapnil Mapkar and Varun Kutsadkar, and Madgaon Royals by Ashish Dukre, Mahendra Odi and Damodar Pai Patnekar. Meanwhile, set to score a target of 146, Atal Setu Brigade are 69 for the loss of 2 wickets. At the mid-innings break, they require 77 runs to win in the last 10 overs, 8 wickets in hand. Require a rate of 7.7 runs per over. Strong batting lineup to follow for Atal Setu Brigade. After this, it's going to be we're going to be followed by Somin Mahatme, Rasik Pai Khot, Mihir Kundaikar, Vibhav Pai, and Kedar Kamat, and Viraj Dhon. Last 10 overs of the innings coming up now. Atal Setu Brigade requires 77 runs to win in those 60 balls. They have 8 wickets in hand. At the crease is Aditya Angle batting on 4 and Sairaj Dond on 26. Batsmen to follow: Somin Mahatme, Rasik Pai Khot, Viraj Dond, Mir Kundaikar, Vibhav Pai, Pratap Prabhu, Kedar Kamath and Arnav Faldesai. Rauji Kakodkar meanwhile bowls right arm over the wicket, and Aditya watchfully place it into the long off region as Abhishek Aroskar comes in and fields. Aditya takes a single, moves to 5 and gets off the strike. Sairaj is on 26. Once again, Rauji Kakodkar to Sairaj. Slower delivery, makes good use of it. And the ball goes into the cover region where Prashant Kurade fields it. The change of keeper there for Laziz Super Kings, Sudhir Kenkre. Now doing the glove work behind the stumps, and Prashant Kurade is now manning the sweeper position. One more to the total. This time a full toss once again, and Aditya drives it. And some good footwork by Abhishek saves 2 runs to his team. Aditya moves to 7 and Atal Setu Brigade 73 for the loss of 2 wickets after 10.3 overs. Once again, Rauji to Aditya Angle. Short ball and he picks it very well, but Varun comes in from the mid-wicket boundary and restricts the scoring to a single. With that single, Aditya moves to 8 and Atal to 74. Sairaj is batting on 27 with the help of 3 boundaries. This time a fuller length, can't make good use of it, but the batsmen get 2 more runs. That was a sure boundary, but Sahil Adwalpalkar running from the backward square leg region stops 2 important runs for his team. Sairaj moves to 29 and Atal to 76. 70 more runs to win in 55 balls. Turned down by the umpire. The ball clearly going down the leg side. Dot ball nevertheless to end the over. After 11 overs, Atal 76 for the loss of 2 wickets, requiring 70 runs in the last 54 balls. Still 8 wickets in hand. Match still in with Atal Setu Brigade. It's going to be Viraj Puranik now from the near end to bowl his off spinners. Rauji Kakodkar, the lone successful bowler for Laziz Super Kings, having picked 2 wickets so far. Both the wickets which have fallen have come from the bowling of Rauji, 2 for 23 of his 3 overs. Pradeep has already finished his quota of 4 overs for giving 25 runs. Viraj Puranik once again, right arm over the wicket, and Adit lofts it over the infield as Lakshmikant Kurade comes in and stops the ball. The batsmen cross for a couple of runs. The running has been quite good between this pair, Sairaj Dond and Aditya Angle. They have looked for every opportunity to convert those ones into twos. Very important aspect in the T20 game, for that matter any cricket game of cricket. This time he lofts it, but this time it's a miss hit. The ball falls in no man's land and the batsmen again collect 2 more runs. With those 2 runs, Aditya moves to 12 and Atal 80 for the loss of 2 wickets. Laziz Super Kings seem to run out of ideas with this quick running between the wickets between Aditya Angle and Sairaj Dond. This time the ball keeps quite low, but Aditya using all his experience turns his wrist at the very last moment and glides the ball into the vacant mid-wicket region where Varun Kutsadkar has to come running from the boundary and restrict the scoring to a single. With that single, Adit moves to 13, Atal to 81. Once again, Viraj, this time to Sairaj, who clips it. And it goes straight. And Sahil Adwal-Palkar there, taking a beauty of a catch, running from the square leg region to dismiss Sairaj Don for 29. Lovely catch by Sahil Adwal-Palkar to get rid of Sairaj Don. 29 runs from 29 balls, striking at a rate of 100 with 3 boundaries. Great innings, but could have done much better. Nevertheless, he is being replaced by a fresh pair of legs. Mihir Kundaikar, known for his ability to run quick singles. Atal Setu Brigade, good partnership ends. 26 runs coming off that partnership. It's going to be Mihir Kundaikar who's going to take strike now. New man for Atal Setu Brigade facing Viraj Puranik. This time he cuts it and stop there right inside the 30-yard circle by Deval Karmali. Can't restrict the single. And with that single, Mihir opens his account, moves to 1 Atal Setu Brigade, 82 for 3, requiring 64 runs to win now of 49 deliveries. Viraj Puranik once again, right arm over the wicket. And Adit cuts it between the two fielders. No, can't get past Deval, who stops it. Can't restrict the scoring. He takes a single. And that's the end of the over. No, one more ball coming up. No, it's the end of the over. With that single, Aditya moves to 14 and Atal Setu Brigade chasing 146 are 83 for 3. Going at a rate of shade under 7 runs per over. They require 63 runs in 48 balls. Still 7 wickets in hand for Atal Setu Brigade. Quite achievable. Meanwhile, Amod Borkar, the captain, brings himself on from the near end. Amod Borkar is bowled two overs for just 9 runs. Pradeep Shetty has finished his quota of 4 overs. Rauji Kakodkar has bowled 3 overs for 2 for 23. Viraj Puranik has bowled his 3 overs for 1 for 25. So Amod Borkar now, who has given away just 9 runs of his 2 overs. "63 runs to win in 48 balls for Atal Setu Brigade." Mihir Kundaikar batting on 1, faces Amod Borkar from the near end, right arm over the wicket. And that's a lovely delivery. Let's wait for the umpire signal. It is a bye. Mihir Kundaikar misses it completely, but nevertheless, one more addition to the total takes Atal to 84. 62 runs to win in 47 balls. Atal Setu Brigade 84 for 3 after 12.1 overs, 62 runs to win in 47 balls. Amod Borkar once again, right arm over the wicket to Mihir Kundaikar. And there's a slight miss of misfield. This could be costly. But Viraj Puranik comes in and stops the boundary. Can't stop the second run. As a result of that misfield, one more addition run to Atal Setu Brigade. With those 2 runs, Mihir Kundekar moves to 3 and Atal Setu Brigade 86 for the loss of 3 wickets. 60 runs to win in 46 balls for Atal Setu Brigade. Once again, Amod Borkar right arm of the wicket from the near end to Mihir Kundekar. Tries to drive it and gets it past the infield as Abhishek Aroskar comes in and fields, gets a single. With that single, Mihir moves to 4 and Atal Setu Brigade now 87 for 3. 59 runs to win in 45 balls for Atal Setu Brigade. Amod Borkar once again from the near end, right arm of the wicket. And slight bit of wrist work. The ball goes into the vacant fine leg region. And the batsman quite content to take 2 runs. With those 2 runs, Aditya Angle moves to 16. And Atal Setu Brigade 89 for the loss of 3 wickets. Dot ball. 89 for 3 Atal Setu Brigade. A lovely shot by Aditya Angle. Bisects the 2 fielders, but lovely fielding on the deep by Sahil Adwalpalkar, who has been a revelation throughout the Sarsangan tournament. His fielding has been top class with good catching, and he restricts the scoring to a single. With that single, Atal Setu Brigade now 90 for 3 after 13 overs. They require 56 runs to win in 42 balls. Aditya Angle batting on 17, Mihir Kundekar on 4. Both very good runners between the wickets. That is their strong point. Aditya Angle has always been a fit cricketer. Mihir Kundekar, this time it's going to be a change of bowling. It's going to be Lakshmikant Kurade from the near end for the very first time in this innings. Laziz Super Kings now have used 1 bowler, that's Pradeep Shetty, for 4 overs, and 3 bowlers, that is Rauji Kakodkar, Amod Borkar and Viraj Puranik for 3 overs each. 13 overs and 90 for 3. 7 overs left in this innings. Atal Setu Brigade require 56. The ball is going down the leg side. Let's wait for the umpire's signal. And Mir just running like there's no tomorrow, goes for the 3rd run. Leg by signaled by the umpire. With those 3 runs, Atal Setu Brigade now 93. Once again, Lakshmikant Kurade, and beautifully placed by Mihir Kundekar between the 2-point fielders, Deval Kharmali. And with that boundary, Mihir moves to 8 and takes Atal Setu Brigade to 97. Now, 49 runs to win and 40 balls in which to get them. These 7 runs has slightly tilted the balance now in Atal Setu's favor. If these 2 can stick there, the match is for Atal Setu Brigade. Both very quick runners between the wicket, Aditya Angle and Mihir Kundekar. Running has been their forte. Once again, it's going to be Lakshmikant Kurade from the near end, bowling right arm of the wicket to Mihir Kundekar on the stumps, but Mihir drives it, punches it in fact, straight to Viraj Puranik, who is manning the sweeper position, restricts the scoring to a single. With that single, Mihir moves to 9 and takes Atal Setu 2 short of 100. Lakshmikant Kurade now to Aditya Angle. Short ball and Aditya drives it, but not to perfection. It is quite content with that single. And with that single, Aditya Angle moves to 18 and Atal Setu Brigade now on 99. Fuller length ball, but wide outside the leg stump. And that wide brings up the 100 for Atal Setu Brigade now. 46 more runs to win for Atal Setu Brigade. 38 balls in which to get them. 46 in 38 balls. 7 wickets in hand. Again, it's a repeat of the previous delivery. Wide signal by the umpire. One more addition to the total. With that one more wide, the score moves to 101. And that's the 13th wide of the innings. The extras have been 18. This time, Mir cuts it past the infield, but straight to Viraj Puranik for a single. With that single, Mir moves to double figures. He moves to 10. And Atal Setu Brigade chasing 146 to win are 102 for the loss of 3 wickets. The last ball of this over coming up. Kurade once again fuller length, and it's a wide signal by the umpire. The third wide of this over, and overall it's the 14th wide of the innings. And the extras now 19 runs out of 104, 103. This time the ball clips the bowler, but the batsman well inside the crease. And Atal Setu Brigade, at the end of 14 overs, are 103 for 3. They require 43 runs in 36 balls. Still 2 overs of power play with Atal Setu Brigade, in which maximum 2 fielders will be permitted outside the 30-yard circle. Laziz Super Kings have somehow run out of ideas. They have already utilized their prime bowlers. Rauji, Kakodkar, Amod and Viraj have bowled 3 overs each, whereas Pradeep Shetty has bowled 4 overs. And Kurade has bowled 1 over for 10 runs. One amongst these bowlers, Rauji, Amod and Viraj, can bowl 1 over. Only out of these 3 bowlers, only one will be allowed to bowl 1 over. And someone has to bowl the overs now. Either it could be Varun Kudsadkar or Deval Karmali. Someone has to take the lead and tell the captain that he can do it for his team. Can't just wait for things to happen. Just 2 people outside on the boundary. Sahil Adolpalkar on the deep square leg region. Rauji Kakodkar at deep long on. We have mid-off covers, point, backward point. No, there's a slight change of field now. Sweeper position is pushed back. Viraj Puranik will be going to the sweeper position. In comes Sahil Adolpalkar. So this is going to be an offside attack now. Amod Borkar will have to bowl on the offside. There is absolutely no protection. Maybe he can bowl a fuller length, but no short ball deliveries. That's the first one. Wide outside the off stump. And Mihir can't connect it. Dot ball. Amod Borkar bowling the 4th over. So Rauji Kakodkar and Viraj Puranik will not be able to bowl any further overs since they have bowled a quota of 3 overs each. We are in the 15th over of the innings. Amod Borkar once again, right arm of the wicket from the near end to Mir. And this time he cuts it, but can't get past Deval Karmali. And a dot ball, 2 dot balls in a row now. Make or break power plays for Laziz Super Kings. Amod Borkar once again to Mihir Kundaikar. Fuller length, and the ball keeps low, and Mihir Kundaikar is bowled Amod picks a wicket at a very crucial juncture. Amod has bowled 3 overs and 3 balls for just 15 runs, and he picks a wicket at a very crucial juncture. 103 for 4 now, Atal Setu Brigade, after 14.3 overs. 33 balls to come after this, 43 runs to get for Atal Setu Brigade. 6 wickets in hand, still Aditya Angle at the crease, batting on 18 of 17 deliveries. New man for Atal Setu Brigade is going to be Arnav Faldesai, all the way from Kankorn. Hard-hitting batsman, physical education sports teacher. The left-handed Arnav Faldesai now on strike. Again a packed offside field, mid-off, covers. Again a slight change of field here. Backward point. A gully in fact. And Amod Borkar right arm round the wicket to bowl his 4th ball of the 15th over. To Arnav. Fuller length, and he watchfully places it into the cover region. Packed offside field, no chance of a single. Dot ball, 4 dot balls in a row in this 15th over for Atal Setu Brigade. Amod Borkar, the captain, trying his best. The 5th ball coming up now. Arnav Faldesai facing him. Watchfully played, but this time before the fielder Sahil could come in and stop that, the batsman crossover for a single. Arnav opens his account, and Atal Setu Brigade 104 for the loss of 4 wickets. Last ball coming up of the 15th over. 42 runs more to win. 31 balls in which to get them. Laziz needs 6 wickets. Still Aditya Angle at the crease with batting on 18 of just 17 deliveries. All run in singles and twos. Not a single boundary. Amod Borkar to bowl his last ball of this innings. Fuller length and is bowled. He drags the ball onto the stumps, and that is a very, very important over in which he has considered just a single and picked 2 important wickets, that of Mihir Kundaikar and Aditya Angle. 2 wickets and just a single in this over, and Laziz Super Kings right back into the match. 104 for 5 Atal Setu Brigade after 15 overs. Amod Borkar has been the most economical bowler as well. 4 overs for 15 runs and 2 wickets to go with his knock of 52 runs of 35 balls. Atal Setu Brigade now has to decide who are the bowlers who are going to bowl the next 5 overs. Pradeep Shetye, Amod Borkar, Ravji Kakodkar and Viraj Puranik have finished their quota of overs. 5 overs left, 42 runs to get for Atal Setu Brigade in those 30 balls. Laziz needs 5 wickets. Who are the bowlers with Laziz Super Kings? Looks like it's going to be Deval Karmali from the far end. (104 for 5). Atal Setu Brigade now require 42 runs in 30 balls. Arnav Faldesai batting on 1. Somin Mahatme yet to take strike. He is at the non-striker's end. Deval Karmali, right arm round the wicket. Software engineer from Kepe. Meanwhile, it's the last over of power play. We have 2 fielders on the fence, one a deep mid-wicket and a sweeper position. This time Arnav finds the gaps and he pierces the infield. Let's wait if the ball crosses the fence. Yes, it does. The boundary for Arnav. With that boundary, Arnav moves to 5 and Atal Setu Brigade 108 for the loss of 5 wickets. 38 runs to win in 29 balls now with that boundary. .38 runs to win for Atal Setu Brigade. Slight change of field. Lakshmikant Kurade comes in from the mid-wicket boundary inside the 30-yard circle. And the long off goes right on the fence. Long off and sweeper position now. The two fielders outside the 30-yard circle. We have a backward point in Shantaram Gaitonde. Point Varun Khudsadkar. Square leg is Sahil Adwalpalkar. Mid on is Lakshmikant Kurade. Mid wicket is Viraj Puranik. And the short fine leg is Tanmay Suktankar. Meanwhile, Sudhir Kenkre is going to stand right in front of the stump so that the batsmen don't get chance to freeze arms. Deval Karmali once again right arm round the wicket to Arnav Faldesai from the far end. This time Arnav dives, gets it to perfection, finds the gap, and that's the second boundary in a row for Arnav. Moves to 9 with the boundary, 2 successive boundaries from the blade of Arnav Faldesai. With that boundary, Arnav moves to 9 and Atal Setu Brigade 112 for the loss of 5 wickets. 34 runs to get in 28 balls for Atal Setu Brigade. Once again, right arm round the wicket. Deval Karmali to Arnav. This time, Arnav drives and he clears the infield. The ball has it. Yes, it does. That's the third consecutive boundary. 3 boundaries in 3 balls. And the game of cricket. Last over, it was Laziz Super Kings which got back into the match. This time, those 3 boundaries in 3 balls. Atal Setu Brigade firmly in driver's seat once again. 116 for 5. Arnav batting on 13 and they require now 30 runs in 27 balls. 30 runs in 27 balls is quite achievable in the T20 game. It's going to be Deval Karmali once again right arm round the wicket to Arnav Faldesai. And this time again he clobbers it. But can't find the gap. Goes to Viraj Puranik who is manning the long on region. Gets a single, gets off the mark. Moves to 14. Atal Setu Brigade now 117 for 5. Require 29 runs in 26 balls. Change of guard for Deval Karmali who now comes right arm over the wicket. No, he changes his plans once again. Goes right arm round the wicket once again. Slight change of field. I don't know what is Shantaram Gaitonde doing there in short fine leg region. Varun Khudsadkar. In fact, there are 3 people on the leg side. Let's see if they will persist with the leg stump line. Comes in right arm round the wicket from the far end to Somin. And Somin plays it defensively, watchfully to the captain Amod Borkar who comes in and stops the ball, but not before the batsman crossover for a single. Somin opens his account with that single. And Atal Setu Brigade now 118 for 5. Still require 28 runs to win in 25 balls. Arnav, once again, this time, Deval changes his guard. It goes right arm over the wicket to Arnav. Bowls a slow one and Arnav quick to pounce on it and hoiks it. The 4th boundary of this over. The 4th boundary, and this over costs 18 runs for Atal Setu Brigade. 122 for 5 after 16 overs. Atal Setu Brigade now require 24 runs in 24 balls. Game changing over. 2 power plays. The first one cost just a single and 2 important wickets, that of Mir Kundaikar and Aditya Angle. Got Laziz Super Kings right back into the match. But the very second over, the last of the power plays, yielding 18 runs. 4 boundaries from that over from Arnav Faldesai and Atal Setu Brigade right now in the driver's seat. 24 runs to get in 24 balls. Somin Mahatme on strike batting on 1. Arnav Faldesai batting on 18 with 4 boundaries. His 18 runs have come in the just 7 deliveries. He is striking at a rate of 257. Meanwhile, it's going to be Lakshmikant Kurade from the far end. He's going to bowl to Somin Mahatme. It's a loud appeal. A mix-up, and there's an appeal for a run-out. Quick thinking by Sudhir Kenkre, and Somin just finds himself just short of the crease and loses his wicket. "24 runs to get in 23 balls now. Atal Setu Brigade 122 for the loss of 6 wickets. New batsman is Rasik Paikot. Rasik Paikot is known for his ability to play 3 matches on a trot in one single day. He can play in the morning, afternoon, night, anytime. Yes. Rasik Paikot, all the way from Kankon, now settled into Margao, is his own computer business, PC house. His son Krish Paikot is also an ardent cricket player. Meanwhile, back to cricket. Lakshmikant Kurade bowling to Rasik Paikot. Dot ball there. Cricket is a very funny game. We saw it when Anmol Borkar picked up 2 important wickets, conceding just 1 run, and then they were licking 18 runs. It's a game of quick leveler, but a wide signaled. With that wide, the score moves to 123, and Atal Setu Brigade now require 23 runs to win in 22 balls. Once again, Lakshmikant Kurade, this time he places it, finds the gap, and Rasik is a quick runner. He gets his 2nd run. Those 2 runs, he opens his account, and Atal Setu Brigade now 125 for the loss of 6 wickets, 21 runs to win in 21 balls. 1 run per ball is what they want. Laziz require 4 wickets. Once again, Lakshmikant Kurade from the far end to Rasik Paikot. Fuller length and wraps him on the pad. Out, says the umpire. So Rasik falls for an individual score of 2. .4 overs. Atal Setu Brigade have lost 2 wickets in this over. Game of fluctuating fortunes, cricket. It's a great leveler. We saw Ahmed Borkar picking 2 wickets, conceding just single run, getting Laziz back into the match. Then we had this over from Deval Karmali, in which he was hit for 4 boundaries by Arnav to shift the balance in favor of Atal. And now Atal losing 2 quick wickets in the 17th over at a score of 125, still needing 21 runs to win in 20 balls. It's going to be Vibhav Pai all the way from Panji, who's going to replace Rasik Pai Khoth, who seems to be very dissatisfied with the umpire's decision. Meanwhile, it's Lakshmikant Kurade from the far end. Short ball and a wide signal by the umpire. One more addition to the total. The score moves to 126. 20 runs to win in 20 balls for Atal Setu Brigade. Fuller length and Vibhav drives it into the sweeper region. Sahil Adwalpalkar comes in and collects, and that could be very close. Appeal for a run out, and this could be very, very close. Vibhav Pai going for a non-existent second run. Nowhere in the frame as of now, and he has to go back to the pavilion. He's out. Out, Prashant. Vibhav Pai is back to the pavilion. Run out. Going for a non-existing second run. Sahil Adwalpalkar's throw does the trick. And Atal Setu Brigade now losing 5 wickets in a space of 13 balls. 5 wickets lost in a space of 13 balls. Atal Setu Brigade. Atal Setu Brigade at one time was sitting very pretty at a score of 103, and then they start losing wickets of Mir Kundekar, Aditya Angle, Somin Mahatme, Rasik Pai Khoth, and now Vibhav Pai. 127 for 8 Atal Setu Brigade, and Kedar Kamath, who comes in, a wide ball by Lakshmikant Kurade, takes the score to 128. Lot of extras leaked by Laziz Super Kings, 22 in all. Again a wide ball by Lakshmikant Kurade, 23rd extra of the innings, 18 of which have been wides, 4 leg byes and 1 bye. Once again, Lakshmikant Kurade to Kedar Kamath watchfully plays it back straight to the bowler. And that ends the 17th over of the innings. The score is 129 for the loss of 8 wickets. Kedar Kamath still batting on 0. But it's going to be Arnav Faldesai who's batting on 18 of just 7 balls, in which he has hit 4 boundaries. Is this going to be the make or break over for Atal Setu Brigade? Sahil Adwalpalkar, who has had a fantastic match so far, doing some brilliant catching and fielding, is going to bowl the 18th over of the innings. Good friend of the Atal Setu Brigade team, but now playing for the opposition, Laziz Super Kings. "17 runs to win from 18 deliveries for Atal Setu Brigade. They have just 2 wickets in hand. End of the power play now. There is no fielding restrictions. 5 players permitted outside the 30-yard circle. Three fielders on the offside, backward point Shantaram Gaitonde, point Deval, covers Varun, and in short fine leg Tanmay Suktankar. We have a sweeper position, long off, long on, deep mid wicket and a backward square leg. Arnav Faldesai. Does he have the patience? That was a wide down the leg side, but Arnav takes a single. One run to Arnav, he moves to 19, and Atal Setu Brigade now 130 for 8. 17 balls to come, 16 runs to get. They have just 2 wickets in hand, in which that madness of those 3 overs which lost 5 wickets. There was absolutely no need to go for those runs. The match was firmly in their hands. But cricket is a very funny game. It's going to be Sahil Adwalpalkar once again from the far end. Is going to bowl to Kedar Kamath. Can Kedar stay at the wicket and give strike back to Arnav? Kedar shouldn't go for glory. It is Arnav's job to do that. He needs to rotate strike and get off the mark. Let's see what's going through Kedar's mind. Very tense dressing room. The owner to come next. The big hitting Viraj Dond. A lot of Dond family supporters here. Ex-chief engineer of PWD Srikant Dond also here. Meanwhile, Sahil Adwalpalkar from the far end is going to bowl to Kedar Kamath. Full toss, looks like a no ball. Yes, it is. And put away to perfection. A lot of umpires here signaling. And that's the signal from the umpire. 5 more addition to the score. No ball from Sahil. 135. 11 runs to win in 17 balls. That's a wide, so it's 2 runs. 2 more addition to the total. With those 2 runs, Atal Setu Brigade now move to 137. The free hit continues. 9 runs to win in 17 balls. Sahil Adwalpalkar once again. And he will be bowling to Arnav Faldesai. I hope he has the patience. He goes for the big hit. Let's see where the ball falls. It falls in no man's land. But he goes for the second. Just misses the stumps. That throw from Sahil Adwalpalkar just missed the stumps. And he gets 2 runs. As a result of those 2 runs, Atal Setu Brigade now 139. Just 7 runs away from glory. Once again, Sahil Adwalpalkar to Arnav. Watchfully played and gets a single. Much needed. Into the 140s, Atal Setu Brigade now. With that single, Arnav moves to 22. 6 runs away from glory. 6 runs needed in 15 balls. Will Kedar Kamath go for the 6th? Let's wait and see. Kedar Kamath now eyeing the, and he tries to cut it. Wide signal by the umpire. One more addition to the total. Atal Setu Brigade moves to 141. 5 runs to win. 15 balls in which to get them. Sahil Adwalpalkar, can he get those 2 wickets? 15 balls. 5 runs to win. Tries to cut it. Misses it. Dot ball. Score remains at 141. 14 balls left and 5 runs to win. Laziz needs 2 wickets. And watchfully played into the mid-wicket region as Varun comes in and collects. The batsman cross over for a single. And with that single, Atal Setu Brigade now 142 for 5, just 4 runs away from victory. 13 balls in hand. What's going through Arnav's mind? Is he going to go for glory of this ball? The last ball coming up from Sahil Advalpalkar. Arnav batting on 22. Will he wait and play the patient game, or will he go for glory here? Full toss and Arnav clicks it. And over the fence it goes. Boundary to seal victory. Arnav remains unbeaten on 26 with that boundary. And the score is 146 for 8. Atal Setu Brigade winning the match by 2 wickets and 12 balls to spare. Glorious game here. Arnav Faldesai remaining unconquered on 26. But it is the fault of the Atal Setu management. They should have told their batsmen to keep their cool. Lost wickets in a heap. Those 5 wickets. Mir Kundekar, Aditya Angle, Somin Mahatme, Rasik Pai Khot and Vibhav Pai. These are the main culprits which made the match more interesting. The spectators enjoyed the match in every sense. Finally, Atal Setu Brigade just managed to reach home by 2 wickets and 12 balls to spare. Great game of cricket. Amod Borkar tried his best with the bat and ball. But then cricket is a game of glorious uncertainties. He brought Laziz back into the match with his over. They were leaked those 18 runs. But then again, Amod Borkar we're going to be joined shortly at the prize distribution function.